Perfect.
Hi, friends on Facebook and YouTube. Hello, everybody. And I am seeing that you're on.
Yep, I'm gonna invite you. Invite.
All right.
Okay, accept. Let's see if.
Yay! I think it worked.
I'm gonna cross all my fingers and toes and. Hello.
I'm here. Hello, everybody.
Hey, okay, so today was crazy.
Happy Eclipse Day.
Right. Happy Eclipse Day. What are we, how are we all feeling? Let's get a check-in with everybody joining us. How are we all feeling with the eclipse? Because
I'm super annoyed with the eclipse. Do you want to know what it's like to have to experience a once in a 40-year eclipse with two children who are homesick, and you can't trust them because they're 4 and 6 years old to keep their damn sunglasses on?
Yeah.
Wow. And then Noah's like, wait, I can't see it without my glasses. I'm like, why are you trying to see it without your glasses? So retinal damage probably done.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you.
I get it. So it was super stressful, super annoying. I did not enjoy the eclipse at all. And then just, motherhood is tough, especially when you're trying to work and be a mom to two sick kids who are no longer sick, but they were sick when it was time to go to school.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I left them at home, and now I'm like, they should have gone to school.
Right. Yes. Well, y'all, I see we have a few people here. Thank you for joining us. Let us know, did it affect your pets at all? We're going to talk about it because my dog was affected. So I'm going to have to tell you what happened.
Mine too, a little bit, but in a different way than yours. Okay.
Yeah,
so
different.
Whomever is, if you're joining us, just comment below and tell us if you saw anything, different from your pet's behavior during the eclipse. It was like almost over an hour, from start to finish.
Well, yeah, I guess if you would have been looking at the whole,
yeah, we did. We went out 3 times.
Okay.
We went out right when it started. We went out midway, and then we went out for the apex or whatever they call it for the most of it. So it was an hour from start to finish, and we just had that snippet that was left over. It wasn't a full. Because we're not in the line of totality, so we didn't have everything. I'm in El Paso, and it didn't get dark, obviously, because we still had some light coming in. But it did. It was weird. The outdoors looked weird.
Yeah, it was it was definitely different. I'm a little bit closer. I'm fairly close.
Yeah, you are pretty close
to the totality. So it wasn't nighttime dark, but it was after dusk dark.
Yeah, like twilight.
Yeah. It was interesting, and to me it felt strong. Wow, this is cool. But I didn't look up at the sky, and I'll tell you why as we continue, as we go along.
No, tell me why right now. I want to know right now why. Why didn't you look?
So I'm my sun sign is a Libra, my rising sign is an Aries. So both of those signs are very significantly impacted by this new moon and this solar eclipse. So it was especially strong for me being a cardinal, both of those being cardinal signs. It was just especially strong. So my understanding is that, first of all, it's a new moon also. Today is a new moon. Tonight is a new moon. And so normally you would manifest on a new moon. You release on a full moon, you manifest on a new moon. But the energy is so strong and it's so chaotic that you just shouldn't. You should do nothing but rest and relax and chill out and say, universe, do what you're going to do. And just go with the flow.
Is that for everybody or just you?
Everybody, really. But yeah, the cardinal signs are most affected by it. And normally, so like, we all know what our sun signs are. We may not all know what our rising signs are, but generally our rising signs are more predominant. Like, that's really how we should be, like, living in the world, is by our rising signs.
I know my rising sign. Is that the one based on the time of your birth?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so I'm a Scorpio rising.
Okay. I don't know much about Scorpios because I'm still learning, but I'm like, paying attention to like my own things, right? But let's see. Yes, Scorpio rising. And
I'm a Taurus with a Scorpio rising.
I'm looking at my little cheat sheet.
So I'm a hot mess, basically. We're all a hot mess.
I mean, mine are polar opposites. So my Libra is like overthinker, gotta balance everything out, wants everybody to be happy. And my Aries is like, everything is about me. Right? Like,
dude, Aries, y'all are difficult. I'm just kidding. We're all difficult in our own way. It's so funny. But yeah, I have my sister's an Aries, and it's so funny because this is what tells you like the signs are so complex because she's an Aries, and one of my very good friends is an Aries, born the same day, and they could not be any more different. But again, it's probably because of their risings and all that stuff too. But Aries definitely they definitely know what they want.
I know another one but it's a sun sign, so we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, but our pets. So what's interesting is that I started seeing people, well, a couple of people, like actually put the like protector goggles on their dogs, right? And I mean, I guess if you think your dog is going to look up, my dog did not look up. She did not look up.
They're not going to look up.
They're
not going to look up. They instinctively know that they don't need to look at the sun, like that there's nothing up there for them to like see. Like they just need to like know if it's daylight or nighttime. And they know that based on their clocks, like internally. They don't even need to look at this. So people were putting their but were they like, there's my biggest fear is that people would put the sunglasses on them and then like force their faces up to the sky. Were they doing that?
Not that I saw. I only saw two. I've been trying to stay off social media today anyway, because like really today you're just supposed to chill and like not do anything and not engage. Other than him, apparently.
Well, I didn't get the memo either because I'm like parenting 2 sick children and working, and I'm sick. And so, I think my body, it's funny you say that because my body's like, you just need to chill right now. And all of this is happening. I'm getting angry about it. I'm like, everything in my being is telling me to rest, and everybody is making it impossible for me to do that. And it's getting, I'm really on edge about it.
Yeah, because it probably is. Everything about you is like, I need to be resting right now. And I get it, right? Like, you're a mom. You don't really have that choice.
I would if they were in school, but they decided to get sick last night. We all started getting sick. I was the first one who started getting like kind of flu symptoms, like body aches. I've been working out a lot too, so I don't know if it's like, like just like my muscles ache or if it's a body ache. But I also had like a really bad sore throat. So I started taking my vitamin C and magnesium like crazy last night. That definitely helped. I slept okay. Noah woke up still kind of sore throat, but by like noon, they're always fine. And then you're like, I'm stuck with them the rest of the darn day.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like the worst mom. I'm like, these kids need to go.
Unless you're like, oh, you're feeling better now? We can get you in school for the, however many hours left.
You know what's funny? Mila's school is really smart about that. Mila's school is if you don't go in by 8:30, you're not welcome there at all. I don't know if
even if
Noah's
she had like a doctor's appointment.
You have to let them know ahead of time and show up with a note because they don't want you doing that, like keeping them home because they had a fever and then they're fine and then you bring them in because they still might be contagious, so they don't want you doing that. But yeah, it's just I feel like is this just today, or is it just like this season that the body's asking for rest? Because I feel like it's been asking for a minute.
Yeah, it has been. And I think it is the whole, so we had the lunar eclipse on, what was that, the 25th of March? So the whole eclipse season, and the eclipse season doesn't end when the eclipse ended, right? So it's still like you've got a couple of days afterwards. So, but then also we're in Mercury retrograde until April 25th. So
Mercury retrograde affects me for sure. No, Mercury retrograde. I remember when my business partner, Beth, and I, when we were running the WAG pack, it was always like, we would just start seeing things just go to hell in a handbasket. Right. And we would be like,
oh, what happened to your StreamYard? I'm like, oh gosh. Oh, I lost your audio on Instagram too. That's crazy. Well, I'm just gonna talk until we can figure this out. So, so yeah, it's between eclipse season and Mercury retrograde. Everything really is like purging. So, physically purging, emotionally purging. Eclipses are supposed to be eclipsing things out of your life that are not supposed to be there, that are no longer serving you.
Okay.
Okay, I can hear you again too. That's awesome.
Oh, good.
And good. So yeah, you could be like very physically tired, and that is your body saying, you just need to be resting right now. Like, let me do what I'm going to do, and you just rest. And like, you don't have any more work to do right now. And that can be really hard. It can be really hard for us to do, because we're busy people, right? We have so much going on, but you know, it is important to at least try. So I was able to, like, right after the totality of the eclipse, the apex of the eclipse went over us, I meditated for a little while and took Kim for a walk and then joined you here. And like, I can see the like jealousy on your face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, oh my God, I did that on purpose. I stopped my camera. So sorry, whoever's on Facebook and YouTube. This is just not going well. I would love to have taken Kira for a walk. Kira actually, what is happening? Okay, anyway. Kira was actually kind of nervous today. So she has a telltale sign of when she's getting nervous about like a storm or noise. And it's that she kind of crouches down in a really weird way, like more compact. Usually she's kind of like the dog that lays on her side. But when there's a storm, something happening, she, can you hear me okay on YouTube and stuff?
Yep.
She will lay down in more of like a compact way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. She'll lay down in kind of a compact way, and she will kind of like look at you. Like she's definitely not resting. She's definitely not chilling. You can tell that something's going on. And she today did that. And it wasn't at the beginning. It was like toward the apex of it.
Okay,
where she was like, I'm feeling something. And she's the kind of dog that feels the pressure changing, the atmospheric changing, because she will start trembling and it looks gorgeous outside. And then 2 hours later, we get a storm. So she knows coming before they come. So, and it's interesting because I kind of figured she might feel something, but I didn't expect it to be visible. And there was definitely no trembling. So none of that, like not to the extreme that does during thunderstorms and stuff or fireworks, but definitely something was up. And I also was really on edge because, like I said, I took my kids out for the beginning, the middle, and the end of it. Because I mean, they're 4 and 6. They're not going to be like, what I would have done without children is I literally would have laid outside and just watched it all happen while like meditating, breathing exercises, whatever, just to like chill and like watch something that you only get to watch once in like ever so many decades. Right.
Right.
So what I did instead was fight with my son at the beginning because he was like, this is boring. And I was like, go inside. He's like, well, I don't want to. And I'm like, but go inside. If you're going to ruin it for me, then you need to go inside. And then he just kept fighting with me. So I had to like lose my mind and like force him inside. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed. I texted my husband being like, our children are monsters. Not Mila. Mila was bored and just walked inside. She's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, okay, bye. And she went inside. Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah.
Noah, not so much. So then I texted Chris and Chris was like, don't worry. I mean, it's like a process. And so he sent me like the times to be outside. And I was like, okay. So halfway through, we went outside again. Everybody got their glasses on back again. And Noah was like, wait, it looks different with the glasses. I'm like, it's supposed to only be seen with the glasses. You're not supposed to be comparing how it looks with the glasses without the glasses. That's a 6-year-old boy for you. And you know what's funny is I had said to him, you know, tomorrow, if you stay home, you're going to do the eclipse with me. If you go to school, you're going to do it with your teachers. You have to. And he's like, I already know all that. Our teachers have already taught us that. Well, no, he didn't know all that. And the teachers didn't teach him all that. Or he just ignored everything that we said and did whatever he wanted. So he was looking
more likely.
Mila was like, oh, wow, I see. Mila's like, oh, I see it. And then like, she's done. So then we went out again for the last of it. And we saw people. I saw a guy walking his dog, obviously not interested in the eclipse, just walking the dog. I saw a lady walking and I was like, are you going to watch the eclipse? And she was like, I might go home and make a cardboard box. I was like, I have extra glasses. So I gave her some extra glasses. And then I saw a younger guy who was like walking and I was like, you know, the eclipse is happening now, right? And he's like, yeah, I have my glasses. I was like, I think this is like the apex. This is the peak of it. You should look now. So he's like, I'm like peer pressuring all my neighbors to like look at the eclipse. That's pretty much what I did. I wanted some other adults to share it with me.
Right.
And then when I came inside, Kira, like right at the apex, when we came right back inside, and it wasn't the end of it. That's when she was like, Kira was kind of like, you know, a little subdued, a little kind of tense, just showing some signs of something.
So what's interesting is that depending on who you listen to, what kind of upbringing you had, how spiritual you are, and even like different sects of spirituality, right? You're going to have different information about the eclipse. So the Native Americans, for example, are like, no, do not partake, stay inside. This is not something you want to be dealing with. And I don't know a whole lot about like their beliefs. And I know it's all tied into nature, which makes me want to believe them, right? Because like that's what we have. Like that's what we should be following is nature and natural patterns.
According to AI, some Native American tribes don't celebrate the eclipse because they view it as a time of mourning.
Yeah, and like death. And what's interesting is that the Egyptians also, they had all sorts of different gods. And like, so the sun god is Ra. And then they had a god, Apep, who was known as the god of chaos and darkness. And it was represented by a snake. And its whole life was like trying to eat the sun. Like that was its goal in life, is to destroy and eat the sun. And so that's what they thought the eclipse was. And interestingly, a sect of NASA was supposed to shoot off rockets at the eclipse today.
Well, they weren't. From my understanding, it wasn't rockets. It was like they were studying them like somehow. They weren't like rockets.
The mission is called APEP. Like, why are they doing this? I don't know what they're doing.
They're wanting to study the eclipse. I don't know how rockets and studying work together. I mean, how close could you possibly get without these things disintegrating anyway? I don't know.
Yeah, I have.
We are definitely not.
I'm not a rocket. Here. I'm not a rocket scientist. But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. But
transformation definitely.
Yeah.
Is like I'm looking at different tribes and it's like transformation.
But I think pretty much in any spiritual practice, there is this idea of like death and rebirth. And even in like other like pagan.
Yeah, no, it's
I don't know.
you know what? I wish I had kept this. I read a little article about like what they thought in like the past in ancient times, like what and it was obviously they were terrified.
Yeah. Right. But so like there's this old story from I get paganism, I guess, where like the sun and the moon are lovers, right?
Yes.
And they are always trying to get back to one another and they never can, except for these really rare occurrences, these eclipses, that it's like, oh, they get to see each other. And so there's like a lot of, I guess, beauty in it that way.
Yeah. I saw that too. That like there's some tribes that see it as the sun and moon making love.
Mm-hmm.
Get it
right? But for the most part, unless your animal, like you were saying with Kara, is like she's really sensitive to noise, to weather, to barometric pressure changes. Interestingly, Kim is too, and I thought that was going to affect her. That's not actually what affected her.
I can't.
So she was good. She was actually fine. Like she was unsure as to why we were outside so long, because normally we just like we're out in the yard generally, unless we're like gardening or something, about as long as she wants to be out there, and then when she's ready to come in, we come in. Well, she was ready to come in and we weren't going in, so she was like, what's going on? But it wasn't until my neighbor started setting off fireworks that she freaked out.
I don't get it. I don't get the connection between the eclipse and fireworks. I mean, you literally should not be able to see the fireworks because of the eclipse.
Yelling and screaming and clapping and then fireworks going off. And I'm like, these must be the same people clapping at a movie theater, because what are you doing?
What's wrong with that? Are we not allowed to do that? Because I do.
I'm sorry. Well, but like, who?
No,
are you
I don't do fireworks, especially not for the eclipse. Like for like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Yeah. But
not theater, movie theater. So like the theater, when like there's
still people, both. I do both.
Okay.
If I really like the movie, I clap.
Yeah. Okay.
It's obviously the people who made the movie are not there to hear it, but I feel like I've done it when other people are clapping. Like the whole theater is like, yay, that was fun.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I ever have. But hey, you know what? If you're having fun, you're having fun. But why are you setting off fireworks?
No, fireworks are an environmental hazard. They are, and for those who haven't used the eclipse glasses in a long time, because I hadn't, and I put them on and it's completely black. Like it's completely black. So like, unless you're looking at the sun, you're not seeing anything. I mean, can you see fireworks through it?
I have no idea. No idea. I didn't have glasses, so I don't know.
Oh, but we had a bunch. I don't know. My mother-in-law sent some. Chris found some. We had so many.
Yeah, no, I mean, they were at HEB for free. I had no intention of looking up at it, so I didn't get any. But yeah, so that's what happened my way. But I think it is, again, just to kind of go back to like, it is a new moon. And I just want to kind of, my feeling, I think, you do you. You do what feels right for you. Like you are feeling tired. Hopefully when your husband gets home, you can chill out for a bit, right? Because your body is trying to tell you, chill out, slow down. We need to take a break. And that's okay. Like if you can honor that, honor that. If that's not how you're feeling, that's fine too. And typically on a new moon, as I was saying, we want to do some sort of manifestation or journaling practice. You can still journal if you want to journal, but just don't journal anything new. Don't try to bring anything new in because the energy is chaotic. So like if there is something that you have been manifesting for a long time, you can continue with that. But like, I feel like it's better to, even though we normally release on a full moon, to not release our manifestations, but release control. And just be like, again, falling into that like rest, relax. I have nothing more to do. Like I'm releasing control. Like, yes, this is what I want. You already know what I want. And I'm releasing control because it's all up to the universe. Like there's no more action for you to do right now, is how I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you agree. Do you normally do any new moon?
No, I don't do anything like that. For the full moon, I will charge my crystals and stuff, those kinds of things, and my jewelry just to like cleanse and charge. But that's pretty much it. I don't do anything else. I never know. Like it's kind of chaotic over here in general. I do have a question though, because I have been working on contracts, and you're not supposed to do contracting during Mercury retrograde, especially.
Right.
But these are contracts that I started back in February. So are we okay?
I think you don't sign anything at all, if at all possible, during Mercury retrograde.
Well, I'm not signing it. My clients are. My clients are signing them, not me.
Well, I mean, if you feel like
they're committing to me. They're committing to me and my services.
They may not want, I mean, if they're comfortable with it, then let them, I guess. But yeah, it is. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to enter into any new agreements or because it is such a chaotic energy. But I will say, like, I guess it depends on what house. So like, which is constantly changing. So like the eclipse today was in my first house. And I'm just learning about houses, but depending on what house things are happening in day to day and time to time, because it changes even throughout the day. It, for me, and I feel like for a lot of Libras specifically, sun sign Libras, it's all right now like about you, like me, like my relationship with myself, honoring commitments I've made to myself, like those kinds of things. So I think you have to kind of dig a little bit into your own chart and see what's going on with you. And what is the app? It's like Astra.
I was just going to ask you for a resource for those of us who want to.
I know it's like it's on my phone, but I don't want to. Astra. I don't know. I can post it in my stories later, and see and send you to the website with like a picture of my chart for the eclipse. Astra something. If you type in astrological natal chart in Google, you'll find something that'll help you with it for sure.
Okay, let me see what comes up as apps. Astro Future, Astro Matrix, Birth Horoscope, Astro Link. I'm looking for stuff that starts with
Astro Seek. Astro Seek. Let's try Astro Seek.
Oh, cool. Okay, Astro Seek. All right, cool.
So it's really, really helpful if you know the time you were born as well. So
5:25 p.m. I was born at 5:25 p.m. Happy hour on a Saturday.
Yeah.
On a Saturday. It was a Saturday, 5:25, time to get partying. And and I'm a Scorpio rising, I guess is what I was told by a psychic. The only psychic I've really ever been to.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, she's really nice. Yeah. She's my friend on Facebook.
Oh. Yeah, I was born at night too. I was born at 6:43 p.m.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Noah was born at 10:22 p.m. and Mila was born at like 5 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, so
maybe that's why they're so different too, like the time of day.
If you can hold off until the morning, based on my experience, do that.
Really?
Because the morning baby seems to be a lot easier than the nighttime baby.
Oh, I gotcha. My mom said I was difficult.
Yeah?
Like really difficult. She was like, don't have a daughter.
Or a son.
Well, right. Yeah. No,
my
she's
son
like,
is very similar to me.
my brother apparently was like super easy, and he's very chill. But like too chill, now that he's an adult, it's like, how do you connect with somebody as chill as him? You know what I mean? Like he's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I have family like that where it's like you're doing all the talking.
That's awesome.
It's like an interview. You're like interviewing them every time.
Hey Diane, how are you? How did your pets fare through the eclipse, or were you anywhere close to the path of the eclipse? That would be interesting to know as well.
And Texas Rough House, were you walking dogs? Or in like a client's home? I think Texas Rough House is a professional pet sitter. I'm pretty sure. I know exactly who that is. So let us know. Yeah, Adriana, tell me how the eclipse was in Connecticut. I want to hear from you guys.
We were close, but in totality.
So Annie, animal communicator, I would love to hear your perspective on pets and the eclipse too. So let us know.
Diane's in England. Still on. I did not see it. Didn't see it.
My pets were all home, and I didn't see the eclipse. My own pets were just happy as a clam playing in the yard. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Sophie Sweet Cakes.
Well, let me look. Our full moon, when is our next full moon? Our next full moon is the 23rd, so we're still going to be in retrograde. Oh, so we're still going to be in retrograde, and I'm thinking maybe it's probably not I don't know. I mean, I think releasing can always be a good thing, but maybe not do any like super crazy rituals.
Brooke, our friend Brooke from Katy, Texas, she says that she had a client who didn't want his dogs out during the 2-hour event. I mean,
yeah, I mean, if you are scared, they're going to look up for some reason.
Okay, so Texas Rough House stopped their midday walks just because they didn't know what to expect, and in case of traffic and cell service being affected. And then California, the eclipse looked like a croissant, she said. We had a really good coverage. It was maybe like a tiny slice of the sun you could still see. So we had really good coverage. But I was impressed by how much that tiny slice of sun still allowed sun in. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like how powerful the sun is, that it was like almost, it was really well covered and still very bright out.
Yeah, well, and people were traveling here. I don't know if they were traveling to El Paso. Yes. People were traveling here because
we weren't. Yes, exactly. We weren't. So, I heard on the radio that Niagara Falls last week declared a state of emergency because so many people were planning on going to watch it there, and they're not equipped. Like they were expecting like 8-hour traffic jams and things. So they had to like bring in the National Guard and stuff. Listen, y'all, we are crazy. Like the fact that cities, areas have to like send in the troops to like protect their residents and their roads from the influx of people who are taking Monday off, traveling to see the moon just kind of go over the sun. Is just insanity to me. Like, I think that's insanity. But I mean, look, if you are an eclipse chaser or a tornado chaser, go for it. Like, that's your thing. But like, to me, it's insanity.
There were just so many conspiracy theories around this in the US, and I don't blame people because everything going on in the United States right now is insanity. Like, we live in the twilight zone right now. So I don't blame people for all the conspiracy theories about it. And like, seriously, people thought it was going to be the end of the world. And
I know the rapture.
Billionaires with their bunkers and okay, but
okay, so Trans Girl 12, hi, she says, someone proposed during the solar eclipse. What do you guys think of that? I think
that's
that
a contract.
Would be,
no, that's a contract. Don't do that.
I think that's fun. I think that's really fun. Yes, the fact that we're in Mercury retrograde, maybe don't propose to anybody during Mercury retrograde. But I think that's kind of cool. Like, I feel like I need to know the logistics of it, right? Like, was she looking up and then she looked down and then there was a ring? Like, how, like, I feel like it makes for a really fun story.
It would be very, very interesting. And for most people, probably a once in a lifetime experience, right?
Correct. Yeah.
You're not going to get like Mother Nature to give you anything better. But yeah, that it would be an insanely cool story. And I hope they spend the rest of their lives together very, very happily. And then it will all work out. And then we can all say, doesn't matter that Mercury is in retrograde.
All right, Lynx the cat, you're in Texas. Whereabouts in Texas, and how did Lynx the cat do?
Yes, I would be interested to know as well. And Sophie's Sweet Cakes Super Zoo this year, absolutely.
Yes, I will be there. Will you be there? Are you going to Super Zoo again? Are you bringing Miss Utah with you? Hello to all of you guys over there. Remember, that's Miss Utah that we met them while we were all staring at the cat.
I wish I were.
We were all there, like stalking the cat to take a picture of the cat. And it was, oh my gosh,
which cat?
Cat Boss, the Cat Boss cat.
Oh,
the black cat.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name right now.
I don't know, and I'm sorry, but I will meet you again this year and remember you.
Yes, they were. We were all waiting for.
Was it the day that I took too much CBD?
No, it was Trish's cat. Trish, the Cat Boss. She met us up for drinks later. It was her cat. We all were like kind of like stalking Trish and her cat. And then after I started talking to Sophie's Sweet Cakes and Miss Utah, I and taking pictures with them and their dog, Sophie. Sophie's name is the dog's name, from what I recall. Then we looked back and the cat was gone. Yeah. So I mean, Titan, may you rest in peace. You're always on my mind. But Van Gogh did not. There was nothing. He's just been like, why are the kids home? Why are you so angry?
My cats were that's all too. Why are you angry? Aw.
He's like my emotional support animal. He comes up and he's like rubbing up on me, like, just chill, it's okay. They go to school tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part though, like, if you just keep if you have any concerns at all, you really should just be keeping your pets inside. And I wish I should have known. I should have known. People in my neighborhood, people in this area in general, are just literally any excuse to get the fireworks out. Any excuse. It's like, oh my gosh, we thought it was going to rain today and it didn't. So let's set off fireworks. Like, they want to set off fireworks for anything all the time. And I should just expect it. But I don't want to dope up my dog every day because
I know, exactly. No. And what's funny is, the whole pet community, I feel like, about this eclipse, I saw, like, Brooke actually shared a blog and I shared her blog. Animaladmiration.com is her website, about, how to prepare for the eclipse. And she wrote it specifically about Houston. So, what they were going to see, what she was recommending. And like, one of the biggest things for me that Brooke shared is that not taking your pets with you to these events. Like, if you are going to be one of those people in Niagara Falls, or if you are going to go to Dallas because, from an area nearby, leave your pet at home, just because you don't know what the crowds are going to be. You don't want to leave your pet in the car because it's hot enough for it to be a hazard now. You don't want to lose your pet. You don't want your pet trampled, because people get crazy at these things. So
everybody's looking up. Everybody is looking up.
Exactly.
So who's paying attention to the animals?
Nobody. So leave your pet at home. That was, I think, the best advice. And I get why, for pet parents, you, as a professional pet sitting business, like, you don't want people to be like, oh, I got home and my dog's looking like weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and people are out there that would be like, did you let my dog look at the sun? And like, there's no way I can guarantee that your dog did not look at the sun. So I get being like, you know what, we're just going to suspend for 2 hours and we'll do it before and after. And again, it's traffic. And again, it's, pet loss. You don't want your pet lost during that time, whatever. So I get that decision. And I also get Brooke, your client, who didn't want his dog out during the 2-hour event. I probably wouldn't, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I have a dog walker that we hire when we need him. And I'm wondering if I would have been like, just do it before or after the eclipse. I don't know. Yeah. Like, I really don't know what I would have done. But when I saw the guy walking the dog, like, I wasn't like, oh my God, why is he walking the dog right now? Like, instinctively, I was like, that's like a non-issue, right? Because like, while we were looking at the eclipse outside, there was a guy like walking the dog. Like, the guy wasn't looking, the dog wasn't looking, they were just walking.
Like, if you think there's going to be if there's going to be crowds of people, if there's going to be issues, like, because there are places, like you were saying, that are like, oh, we're going to have the National Guard. Like, if you're on alert because you think people are going to go crazy, if you think people are going to be like, this is a party and we're going to riot, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you think that's going to happen, then
exactly,
I don't want my dog out when that could be going on either. And yes,
and I completely agree.
Yeah, we absolutely love essential oils and use them as much as possible for various things. I personally have not they help me with my anxiety. They have not helped Kim with her anxiety.
Indiana Maya just joined. Hi. Indiana, I think, was close to the totality. I don't know if you want to share your experience. It might have been, if I think, like, when I think about it. I can't remember now. Yeah. But if you were somewhere where you guys got complete darkness, that's like, not complete darkness, but like close to it. Like, it's like goes from like daylight to twilight immediately. Yeah. I would love to hear what you felt. Cause like, when I was looking at some stuff last week, and NASA had said that people like in these events that people go to, they feel very connected with each other. They feel like some kind of like exhilaration, you know what I mean? Like, just from being part of the experience, probably not like just from like the eclipse, but just like that connectivity that happens when people are all kind of gathered for the same reason. Yeah. So I'd love to hear if you guys felt anything special, spiritual.
It looks like maybe southern Indiana. I'm looking at the map.
Yeah.
It looks like
so
southern.
I did see like a sarcastic, like, is your pet safe in the eclipse? And it's like, if he's gonna go and like, I don't know,
yes,
like, sell the sunglasses on the black market or something like that. Like, and it was like diminishing.
It was cute.
It was fine. I didn't find it cute. I found it diminishing to the people who were actually asking, because they wanted to put like their pets' safety first. Like, if I don't know, most of us don't know what we don't know, right? So like, I wasn't worried because I just keep my pets inside, not a big deal. Like, I wasn't worried about the conspiracy theories. I wasn't worried about, but if you are a believer in these conspiracy theories, obviously the fact that you take your pet into consideration, bravo. If you are not a believer in the conspiracy theories, but your pet maybe has a dog walker and you want them to stay on schedule, ask the question. Like, there's nothing wrong with asking the question. And I feel like when we do these memes that like make it a laughing matter, we give pet parents like kind of a complex about asking questions. Like, there are no dumb questions. If you have a question that prioritizes your pet's safety and well-being, I don't think it's a dumb question. I would be happy to answer the same question 800 times if that means that a pet is safer, happier, better off, right? Like it reminds me of like, apparently there's like the cast members at Disney, there's some that are just basically their role is to stand there and answer the question, where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom?
Yeah.
Where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom? And they're supposed to do it like with it's Disney. So they're supposed to do it with like a happy, enthusiastic tone 5,000 times per day. And that's what I feel like. If you are a person who works in the pet industry in any capacity and a client or a friend asks you, just answer them genuinely. Like, your pet should be fine indoors. Don't take them to any events. Just make sure they have their colors on. If they, if they're outside, if they're out, they're a hunting dog, make sure they have like some kind of shade, some kind of shelters. I mean, if they get scared, I don't know, like, you don't know what's going to happen. So like, your dog best. Like if it's a Kira, like sensitive dog, then maybe you need to do something. If a dog is completely oblivious to everything that happens in their life, they're not going to notice. But like, talk about it and ask, and there shouldn't be any shame in asking these questions. So while it was funny, it was actually funny. I was like, people don't need to be shamed for asking about their pet safety. Just like, I feel like as a parent, I don't know everything. And like, there are times that I'll ask a question and people will be like, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I was supposed to be born knowing, right? Like, you're not born knowing. And like, this is a once in a 40-year event. So like, you maybe have a situation that merits asking the question. So yeah, never feel bad about asking questions. Never feel bad about being overprotective. Like the guy who did not let Brooke walk his dog for 2 hours. You know what? If I had to choose between a pet parent who does not care and a pet parent who's that type A about his pet, I'll take the type A all day long.
Absolutely. I know. It actually, when you said that, reminded me of somebody in my neighborhood who, a year and a half ago, maybe, was like, oh, I don't know how my dog does with fireworks because I'm never home. And I'm like, and then
you would know if it was really bad because you would have gone home and they would have like been like hurt. Your drywall would have been messed up. So at least we know they don't have horrible reactions to them.
What's really sad is that, like, she said, I don't remember if she said it for the 4th of July or New Year's, but whichever one she said it at, the next one that came up, her dog got out and got hit by a car and killed. I felt horrible, but at the same time, I'm like, you didn't do anything.
That's exactly what it is. And Brooke was really good in her blog about doing that, like taking the precautions. We don't know. Like, there are zoos literally studying today the effects. Like, I think it was one in DFW area, a zoo there, or Waco. I can't remember, somewhere in Texas, somewhere in that vicinity. And they were going to be observing like their resident animals to see if they noticed, because they were in the line of totality, so they could really get like some information there. I'm interested to see what they found. So even, zoologists don't have the answers. Obviously, they weren't going to put them away. They were going to let them be.
Just be, right.
They were going to let them be and like just observe them. Some of them were not going to be paying attention because they sleep during the day, obviously. Some of them might have been more alert or more aware of it. Yeah. They expected more so the birds and the insects to be more affected by it, but not the insects like in any kind of, building.
I actually saw birds. Like, I saw birds flying during the 3 minute
they did not totality. So they did not really like stop going about their business.
It was quieter. I don't think there were as many, but I saw some going from like tree to tree in my yard. So they were still flying.
Yeah.
But it wasn't pitch black, right? It was just like kind of after twilight, but not. It was dark enough that if I was normally going to be outside, I would have turned the light on.
Got it.
You know, like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like midnight dark.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. So we still don't even know how these things affect pets. And obviously it, we'll see what these zoologists find from what they saw, but I have a feeling it's going to be a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
probably.
a whole lot of nothing. Like the animals just did their thing. But at the same time, like it's cool that we care enough to like find out. I think that's really good because sometimes that's all we have is like the experience that a zoo here had so that the zoo, in Norway can figure that out if that ever, affects them, whatever, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to find out because I was in the jungle during it, right? Like that's not how I would want to find out.
I hope I'm never in the jungle, like ever. Like not for an eclipse, not for anything. Like I have no interest in ever going to the jungle, ever.
Aww.
It sounds humid and dangerous.
Yeah.
No for me. Raw Paws Adventures, hi. I am Baby Simba, hi. Mary Cat 14, hi. Thank you guys for joining. And if you guys have any feelings about the eclipse, any, feelings about Mercury retrograde, any questions about Mercury retrograde, you can go down the rabbit hole and there's a lot. Mercury retrograde is fascinating. And honestly, I believe in it. I believe in it.
It affects 100%. Everyone a little differently too, right? Like I feel like most of the time, I feel like I'm kind of opposite of what people like. The majority of people are like, oh my God, this is horrible. And then I'm like, I'm cool. And then when everybody's like, oh, cool, I'm like, oh, this is horrible. Like, I feel like I'm totally opposite.
Well, for me, it's technology.
Yeah.
Technology. And it's usually like, I'll be like, technology is failing, like not just once, but like twice, 3 times, 4 times in a week, like more so than usual. And I'm like, I'm on tech all day long. So like, what is happening? And then I'll meet, like, this was what we would do at the Whack Pack. Beth and I would be like, okay, so this is like, this keeps happening. So like, is Mercury retrograde? And we would go to the website, which I think is called ismercuryretrograde.com. And it tells you whether or not it is. And if it isn't, it tells you when it is going to be.
Yeah. Cause it normally happens a few times a year. It's not like, it's not rare, right? Like it happens.
And it's funny because 90% of the time when we looked, it was retrograde and it had just kind of started. So it was like, okay, this makes sense. Yeah. We're noticing this. We're noticing a change. Like technology is just not where it usually is. Something's going on here. And I don't know if it affects, I've never paid attention if it affected me personally. I do know about the contracts. So today I was like, oh God, contracts. But I obviously want contracts to come in for me. I provide services for businesses. So I want those contracts coming in. And I will say that I am kind of, I'm rationalizing it as it started long before, like the negotiation started long before Mercury retrograde. The first contract with this client was signed before Mercury retrograde. This is just an additional like service that they signed up for. Yeah. So I'm going to go with, it's been grandfathered in before Mercury retrograde. So we are immune to its effects because this is a client that I've known forever. And I don't want any negative juju on this at all. So, yeah. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you still got to go about like your business, right? And
exactly. I'm not going to let like, the Astros dictate my business and finances for sure. But I do keep it in the back of my mind.
Right. Absolutely. I know. I'll have to like snapshot you my new moon tarot pull and send it to you when we get off of the call. It's pretty interesting. It's a good one.
Raw Paws Adventure says, I'm more of a Sailor Jupiter gal, Sailor Moon. Oh.
Yeah, I know the name. I know that it was a TV show or something, or like an anime thing. That's all I know about it. I don't know anything more about that. Sorry.
The Sailor Moon.
Well, yeah, she's also like a good at least 10 years younger than me, I think.
Yeah, probably.
So I think it was just a different
time.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think it's an anime thing.
Yeah, it is anime. It's Japanese. Okay. It is a miniseries written and illustrated by Naoko Takeishi. No, maybe it's she's an anime nerd. She's an anime nerd. We're forgiven. Thank you. It wasn't really before our time.
No?
It came out from 1991 to 1997.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We just missed it.
I totally missed it. What was I doing in 91? I mean, I was only 9.
I was 11. I was doing whatever 11-year-olds do.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I was living in Ecuador, actually. I was living in Ecuador, so yeah, I didn't have cable. I didn't have anything.
That's your
I was living in the jungle. I was living in the jungle, which is why I don't want to go back. So yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. We are all in need of rest. I think that is what we have all come to agree on. Your pets might be in more need of rest than they usually are. Listen to them, listen to their bodies, listen to you, listen to your body, and take the rest that you need. As a yoga instructor, I'm always like, I teach yoga and I teach slow flow, and like I see people trying to like move faster and go faster, and I'm like, at the pace of your breath, and they're like breathing so fast, and I'm like, no, just slow down, like take rest. Like you don't have to like breathe super fast with these movements. You don't have to breathe or run or walk fast. You don't have to run in your own home. Try to take a minute and like slow down, right? Like we're always going so fast. So maybe it's the Astros reminding us to slow down.
Slow down. Yes, it is a good time to relax. And I hope you get some time to rest this afternoon, evening.
Chill out. Yes, everybody, take a deep breath. Have a great week. We will see you next week. And if you want to talk about anything specific, let us know. I will say there was a little news story that was really cute that came out today from China, where 100 Siberian Huskies got out of like a dog cafe and ran around the mall. And it was very fun for the dogs. It was not that fun for the staff that had to like corral them and bring them one by one, but they were all safely brought back. So I was like, we should do like some kind of fun news story and like anecdotes or something from around the world. And we'll look to see if there's anything coming out about these, the Eclipse and like the zoos that did anything. But if you have any news stories you want us to like chat about, any articles that you see online that are pet related, send them our way and we will be happy to discuss.
Absolutely. All right, guys, y'all have a great week.
Bye. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for joining. Bye.